action tonight. Can Oklahoma State win its first trip to Foster Pavilion and snap a 10-game Big 12 road losing streak? Baylor secures the opening tip. Injuries catching up to Baylor. Lost Tuesday at Cincinnati. The fourth in 5 games. That tough stretch coincides with losing Josh Ojambwana for the season. They are thin. Go about 6 or 7 deep. Here is Omier, almost taken away by Arturo Dean. Such a theft. And the freshman, Robert Wright, off the mark. Omier was fighting for the rebound. Edgecombe is as well. And we've got a whistle. That will be Oklahoma State basketball.
Well, great defensive job right there by the Cowpokes coming out, not letting that ball get below that free throw line till the shot went up. Then they put a body on a body, got on the glass. So nice job for the Cowboys to start this basketball game defensively, setting the tone early.
Trending in the right direction. 4 wins, 4 losses in February. And they're starting 5. Pay attention to number 2, Arturo Dean. Relentless as the point guard as VJ Edgecombe just rips it away. That's something that Oklahoma State typically does. Edgecombe, no good. Omier with a rebound. He's now 1 away from passing Bill Russell. And a jump ball. Omier still not done fighting.
Well, Omier does a great job working himself to the weak side of the glass on that long shot. Long shot produces a long rebound, and he's there to gobble it up. But he made the Cardinals sin of bringing that thing down below its numbers where guys can get their hands and arms on it. They tied him up, possession arrow over to Oklahoma State.
So Dean is the point guard. That is the nation's active leader in steals, so does most of his work defensively. Gotta look out for big number 33, Abu Usman, coming off the best game of his Oklahoma State career. And there is Dean. Talk about staying hot. Arturo Dean coming off a 14-point performance.
You got to love that right there. You get an open look for one of your guys, like you said. It had a great game on Wednesday, playing with just a ton of confidence. You mentioned he had 7 steals in that game against Iowa State. It's a Big 12 record for Oklahoma State players with steals in one game.
And here's Omier on Usman. And Robert Jennings, transfer from Texas Tech, pulls down the rebound. Oklahoma State wants to play fast. What does that mean with the lack of depth for Baylor?
Well, they got to make sure that they stay out of foul trouble. And one thing Oklahoma State does extremely well is get to that foul line. They score 25% of their points from the free throw line.
And this guy is playing unconscious. Bryce Thompson saving his best for last. 15 points per game in February. The reason why Oklahoma State went 4-4.
What a drive down the baseline. Elevated and thundered that one down over 2 Baylor Bears. Are you kidding me? Doesn't have the best looking jump shot, can't find the basket, but he's at his best when he's in attack.
And he does it. Arturo Dean, give me that, but cannot get the bunny. But look at the relentless effort to get back and try to take that ball away from Wright.
Hey, he's so fast, but by Oklahoma State, you're trying to get your first win on the road all year long. You got to finish that play at the rim, even if you got to lay it up off the glass.
Usman called for the foul.
I love the fact, the way this young man gets into this pass. Oh, let's go back to this one by Thompson right there. What a fantastic finish. Look at the elevation and the power at the basket. That's what I tell these young folks. When they go in their side, that's why you push all those weights around in the summertime. And you get on that sled and that leg press so you can go up and thunder it down. Showboat when it comes time to march.
Omier the handoff to Wright. Kick 3, off the mark. And Wright with the floater, and Baylor is on the board.
Well, this is Baylor's going to keep beating Oklahoma State up on that glass. They got to limit them to 1 shot. They did it the first possession, but the last 2 possessions, they've been on that offensive glass.
Now, Baylor doesn't blow you away with any individual offensive stats except their offensive rebounding. And that's going to stay with Oklahoma State. Still plenty of time, 14 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, that's what Baylor's got to do, right? They got to slow down this Oklahoma State attack. They got to make them play in half-court sets. They're not very effective. They're 15th in the Big 12 in scoring. If you can get them to play in half-court sets, you got a good chance to win.
Such a beautiful touch there from Abu Usman. 25 points in the upset against Iowa State.
He was fantastic in that game against Iowa State. That first little jumper, he's got good form, he's got live legs. Very nice job seeing front of the rim and knocking it down.
Here's Langston Love, kicks it out for right. That rolls off. Omier, just an absolute war with Usman. Man, they are banging early, big fella.
Omier, 245 pounds of muscle, look, cut out of sheetrock. This kid is absolutely unbelievable body. He just realizes that every long shot, let me just work myself to the backside of the basket. Whoa, these guys are getting tangled up.
Deck again. Keller goes down as well as Love.
I love the Big 12, baby, the black and blue Big 12. Referees don't call any little incidental contact. You got to earn a foul. Oh, he gets
Usman got a piece of the Omier attempt from deep.
That's not something you see out of Omier a lot. Under 30% from behind the three-point range, but he comes back and gets a steal.
And Usman will be called for the foul against Robert Wright. And that is now 2 quick ones on Abu Usman.
But Omier, 6'7", like I said, they list him at 244, but I think he's probably closer to 255. He gets his shot blocked at one end, doesn't hang his head, gets back on defense, and then gets to poke away the steal along the post.
And maybe more important than any of that is the fact that Usman now goes to the bench with 2.
Oh no, that's a huge loss. Yeah, good observation there. He's one of the guys that has the size at 6'10", the beef to bang underneath with Omier. That's a huge loss.
So Patrick Sumnick now checks in, and Omier sees a size mismatch, and the kick out to Celestine, no good. And where we're going with this one, and it will be Oklahoma State basketball. So Oklahoma State with the lead with some fireworks early.
Yeah, you'll love this writing.
Schedule, didn't know how to handle the Lutz system and what exactly coach wanted. We started to see that come together, especially in that win against Iowa State. They want to play fast. It all starts on the defensive end. Got to make buckets, though, and that's 2 from Thompson.
Well, they come out in the press. Baylor trying to get that live ball turnover in the backcourt, and the Cowboys, they cook out their cookie cutter, went right through that press and got a little 15-foot mid-range jumper. They're up 9-2. They made 4 of their first 5 field goals.
Baylor, meanwhile, 1 of 8 from the field, 0 of 5 from outside, and that's a foul on Jamiron Keller. So is this good defense from Oklahoma State, bad offense, somewhere in between?
Maybe a little bit of both. You know, Baylor off to this slow start, like you say, just 1 of 8 from the field, 0 of 5 from the land of 3. Wouldn't be surprised if they try to take the ball inside here on this next possession.
So you're looking for Omier to get a touch.
Yeah, go inside to their big fella, let him eat.
Here's Celestine trying to work around Jennings, and Patrick Sumnick, the transfer from West Virginia, ripped it away. Here's Dean so quick. Slow it down. Keller spin move. The lefty finish. No. Sumnick crashing hard and draws the foul. Sumnick really is known for those type of plays. He's a hustle guy.
But you got to have those kind of guys on your squad, right? The guys that do a little bit of everything. You know, they'll run the floor, they'll shrink the defense by getting down underneath the rim, make it a little easier for the outside shot and transition or the secondary break. Get on the offensive glass. Get a defensive deflection. That's what great steal on the play when they were trying to go inside to Omier. He strips that away. Then he gets on the offensive glass and he knocked in his first freebie.
And by the numbers, he doesn't do well with this part of his game. 43.5% from the charity stripe. Hits the first, as that was Jalen Celestine picking up his first foul.
Well, this is not the start Coach Drew wanted for his squad. You don't want to get a team that's struggling on the road, confidence early, and all of a sudden, 10-2 advantage to start this basketball game. You're going to be in a fight all night long because the Cowboys are feeling good about themselves. Their shoot-around was 90 minutes today. They went hard. They were in a full sweat, so they were already ready to start this game.
Good hands there by Keller with the deflection. It will stay with Baylor.
Yeah, most shoot-arounds are 60 minutes. You walk through, you don't even break a sweat. These guys were out here for 90 minutes banging with one another.
You can do that with depth, though. That's something that Baylor has not had the opportunity to do most of the season. It's been 6 healthy contributors, as here's one of the players. It's taken Langston Love some time to get back. He's been a factor. But Scott Drew has said you don't get better when you have to take it easy and slow in practice. Chi-Chi Avery.
Chi-Chi Avery is one of those guys that gives a good punch off the bench, over in double figures off the bench. Oklahoma State, they are one of the best teams in the country off the bench.
Get out, says Sumnick.
Wow, this kid's impressive. Comes in from Usman, who had the 2 fouls, he gets a steal. And now look at this defensive play at the rim. Says, you shall not pass. Return that one to Singer.
Oklahoma State routinely, they play 10 guys. Sumnick has really been a factor later in the Big 12 schedule. Here's Edgecombe, 0 for 1 from the field. Projected number 4 overall pick.
Yeah, that little freshman's fantastic. Over 18 points a game in his last 8.
And the Duke transfer, Jeremy Roach connects from 3. He scored under 7 points per game in the last 6. They got to get him going.
Yeah, finally the 6'2 Roach. I mean, a little veteran know-how there. Played so good. Played by that Duke system for so long. Gets his team on the board. Their first triple from the game.
Chichi Avery sailed it over the head of Khalil Brantley. And Brantley trying to tell his guys, let's just slow down, settle down a little bit.
Well, listen, I'm not a big fan of when teams shoot 43-point shots in a basketball game. But when you get an opportunity, you get a big-sized, man-sized screen from your big stud, 6'7", 245-pounder, and you get nobody within 5 feet of you, go ahead, just line it up and knock it down.
Roach from the free throw line. Too strong. Sumnick tipped it, goes to Love. Back out to Nunn. Off the mark, wide left, and another rebound by Patrick Sumnick. Thompson quick the other way. Taking on all the Bears in traffic. Edgecombe got a piece of it. Avery cleans it up, and he's on the board.
Well, 3 Baylor Bears went out that play at the rim. There was nobody to put a body, and they just easy offensive rebound and lay-in. This is an impressive group. You're right about this Oklahoma State team. They love to get that ball and get it to the other end quickly.
Attack, attack, attack. They did that early against the Cyclones midweek. This is Jaden Nunn in traffic. 5 on the ticker. Edgecombe recognizing. Son Thompson step back. And can't get the roll, and it's going to be off. Oklahoma State will stay with Baylor.
Well, Oklahoma State, they can't buy a basket from the outside. He got the one by Roach, and that's pretty much it. Everybody else is 0 for the evening, but they've done a great job getting on that offensive glass, either getting balls or keeping them alive.
Now, something to keep in mind here, how Scott Drew handles the rotation with the bigs. That's Marino Dubravcic, who just played a couple of minutes. Without Ojanwuna, they have to be very creative how they spell Norchad Omier. That's the corner 3, no good from Langston Love.
I'm surprised Scott Drew is letting his team continue to bomb away from the outside. Now they're down by 7, and they have but 1 outside jumper all game long. You would think they'd want to bang it inside. I know Omier can play a good 35 minutes, but take advantage of him while he's on the floor.
And Sumnick is trying to throw it down from distance, and that's going to draw the foul on Langston Love, his first.
Sumnick's got buddies. He went up there and challenged Omier right at the rim, and he didn't get the bucket to go, but look at that power in which he goes up after that basketball. I'm not quite sure where that foul or who that foul was on, but yeah, either way, Oklahoma State doing a nice job going inside more than Baylor.
Thompson, so smooth. This is a young man in rhythm.
Well, I looked at this kid earlier before the game. I don't know how you get that shot to go down. You wouldn't teach it that way, but it doesn't matter how you shoot it as long as it's effective, and he was able to get on balance and on target, knocked it in.
A 14-5 lead with the leading scorer for Oklahoma State. Usman on the bench with 2 fouls. This is the start that Steve Lutz wanted to see, and you never know with this Oklahoma State bunch what you're going to get off the bat, but they are locked in here in Waco. Usman to the bench with 2 quick fouls, so Patrick Sumnick making the most of his opportunity. He gets the rejection there on Jeremy Roach, and that has helped set the tone for what has been a dominant defensive performance for Steve Lutz's team.
Yeah, Oklahoma State, they're doing a fantastic job making Baylor play out on that perimeter. They haven't been able to get anything going inside. They only have 2 points in that painted area, holding them to 2 of 15 shooting. That's 13%. They got 2 steals and 2 block shots, and that was a big one by Sumnick.
Playing great first shot defense against Baylor. All 5 points for the Bears are second chance points.
Yeah, and they're just doing a good job sliding their feet. They're keeping their guys that they're defending from being able to attack inside. Yes, they're getting some draw and there's some kicks, but they're only allowing the Bears to shoot 1 of 9. That's right, 1 of 9 from behind the arc to start this one. If they shoot another 3 right now, I'm going to eat this stat sheet.
Will you really?
I'll eat part of it.
Okay, we got to get the camera on that. Oh, eat the stat sheet, because he also missed everything from outside. Celestine, all right, fire at the camera. We got it right here.
All right.
Can we get this on camera, Jacob? He's eating it. I don't know if we got it on camera, but I can confirm that.
Well, listen,
Scott is eating part of the stat sheet.
I should have had my out clause.
Okay,
if they shoot a 3, if they shoot a 3 and they make it, all right, a little piece of it. Yeah. Need some sriracha.
yeah. How'd that taste? Like ink, huh?
Well, you know, Scott Drew, listen, he's a better coach than I'll ever be. You don't get 460 victories by not knowing your team. But I'm just surprised when they come out of a timeout shooting 1 of 9, they fire up another 3 that air balls.
Dean was trying to draw the contact on Edgecombe and then gave it up. Step back, Dean. It's going to be a shot clock violation. Thompson does not get it off in time. And Dean says, that's all me. He had a couple of looks, but didn't pull the trigger.
Well, I like this. Listen, both these teams, they're not playing great basketball, but they're both playing real hard. And that one right there misses everything. And you can see the surprise and the disappointment in my face as I had to rip off a piece of that stat sheet. And sure enough, I chewed on it a little bit. I don't know if I swallowed it, but did not taste good either way.
All right, what are the stakes here if they shoot another 3?
Oh, nothing.
Come on, man. Can't back down now.
I don't know.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. No, it's not. And that is right with the drive after giving up the 3. Sumnick got tied up with O'Meara.
Well, how about Sumnick, though, putting a body on O'Meara and keeping him off the glass? You mentioned this guy's only 2 away from passing Bill Russell on the all-time rebounding list. Over 1,600 rebounds for this young man. Barely scored 1,600 points in college. I don't think I even did score 1,600 points.
Brandon Newman being harassed by Celestine. Great vision inside, off the mark is Arturo Dean, and now Wright wants to run for the Bears. Dean tried to take it away, and 1, count it! The freshman, Robert Wright III, getting it done.
Well, that's how you get off the schneid, right? You gotta forget about trying to shoot those 3s. You get the basketball down in transition. You got it all the way to that baseline. That shrunk the defense. Then you kick it back out. Now, as the defense tries to recover, you tack their feet. And that's a great job. Sumnick giving up some inches there to the smaller player, was not able to get over and hip checks him along the baseline. It's a good job by Wright III there.
Do you believe in a freshman wall for a player like Wright?
There is some of that, depending on minutes played. You know, how much time you got out there. The physicality of the Big 12 is something to adjust to as well.
Cannot convert on that free throw, so it will stay at 14-7. Still bookmark that play as a potential momentum changer for Baylor. Right, the all-time record holder for Baylor freshmen in assists, 126 coming into this. There is the head coach, Scott Drew. His team has been a 3 seed, or better in the last 4 tournaments. Only team in America to say that. He told us pregame, just not used to losing. And a natty in that run as well.
Now, and he said, listen, I haven't had enough healthy players to really put enough the time in the lab to get off of this 3-game slide. They haven't lost 4 games in a row since the 07-08 season.
Jennings weaving through traffic. What a defensive effort by Norchad O'Meara. Here's Wright, wants the 3, and it rolls out.
Boy, that was an impressive rebound by Edgecombe. He came from the left side of the key and snatched that away and initiated that break.
Dean, the high archer, and it's home, barking at the Baylor bench. That is a guy that is playing with a world of confidence right now.
Well, if he's not stealing the ball, he's posted up behind that arc. Is that his second 3 tonight? This kid is doing an absolute fantastic job getting ripaways and then getting buckets for his team. They're up by 10 points, the largest lead of the night.
Baseline feed through the hands of Wright. It was freshman trying to set up the other freshman. But you're right, Arturo Dean's second game this season with multiple three-pointers.
Look at that penetration and pitch, and then Dean, so smart, so crafty, doesn't stay out there on the top of the floor. He slides down to the corner into the vision of his teammate. Easy to find him along that perimeter. That pass was a perfect position, right in his shooting pocket, goes up and knocks it down.
He's getting his either right knee or quad checked out on the bench right now. I mean, that is the most energetic player in the Big 12. He goes hard from start to finish. Edgecombe trying to get the steal. Here's Brandon Newman well short. Not quick to Edgecombe. To Roach. Too strong. Edgecombe with the rebound. Great ball movement, corner three, and that is how it's done. Jaden Nunn.
Second chance points will hurt you. You can play that initially good defense, but Edgecombe, I mentioned his buddies. He rose up and got that offensive rebound. Look at this place is starting to go bananas.
Here comes the crowd. Five on the shot clock. Brantley trying to shake O'Meara. Running out of time. Got the rim. Could not convert. Edgecombe is fouled by Jennings.
Well, what a job by O'Meara, sliding those biscuits, not letting a smaller offensive player get past him. He kind of bought on that shot flake, and it was a little contact, but this is the Big 12, baby. They don't call that incidental stuff, and then
they're going to take a look. Norchad O'Meara stated his case. He said, I got hit in the mouth. Scott Drew went to the officiating crew, and they will now take a look to see if there was contact indeed.
No, that's what I was saying. It's the Big 12. They're going to let him play on for sure. But I love this one here. Look at Edgecombe. Gets on this glass. Look at him, a big guy. He's got a bigger opponent on him, and he just stays with this box out all the way till the ball even hits the floor, and then he goes after it. That's impressive by a freshman.
Now the Baylor intensity defensively is stepping up, and you can see the gash there on the lip. Something happened, and now going to the monitor to check this out on the far side of the court.
It looked like he was motioning that somebody threw a elbow at him above his shoulders and might have caught him on a lip. Looked like he did have a little blood trickling out of that lip.
Well, they need to keep him healthy, and that's been the story of this season for Baylor. Just a rash of injuries from start to finish. I don't know if there's anything they're considering from that angle. It looks like O'Meara goes into the left elbow. Are you seeing the same thing?
I am, and of course you're trying to draw that foul, and you're going to go up through the defender to get it.
They will not upgrade this one. 17-10, Oklahoma State with the lead. Baylor's very much on the bubble at this point in time. They are sliding. Coming into this game, Joe Lenardi does have them in as one of the last four buys.
Yeah, you don't want to slide any further, right? And look at this, they come out and nearly turn the ball away. Turn the ball over, rather.
Some contact there with Thompson, wraparound pass, now just getting loose with the basketball. Oklahoma State is not the team to do that against.
Now, they were doing everything they could to try to give that ball back to Oklahoma State, and finally did after the third attempt.
Connor Dow with the steal. He hardly played at the beginning of the season. Now has found a role in Big 12 play. Thompson, long two, rattles out right with the board.
Yeah, halfway down before it spat back out. Look at his speed by Wright, the opposite direction, coast to coast.
This is a wild scene as Khalil Brantley picks up the foul. Considering Baylor is shooting 19% from the field. 19, Scott.
Yeah, 19%, but they still have not lost touch with Oklahoma State. All they need is a little 6-2 spurt to make it a two-possession game. So they just got to concentrate more on offense. They're a little sloppy with the basketball. They've turned it over. They've settled for outside shots. Haven't worked the ball inside enough.
Only a matter of time before Edgecombe gets gone. There's the wedgie.
That about sums up this first
really
half here for Baylor. The ball sticking between the rim and the backboard, but I believe there was a foul, so they're going to go to the line and shoot a couple free throws.
Yeah, so foul there on Patrick Sumnick.
Hey, Sumnick's giving him some good minutes off that bench. I talked about them being the #1 production bench in the Big 12. These guys score 31.3 points per game off of that bench. Some doing it with the D and scoring inside offensively as well.
And Nunn misses that free throw. Baylor now 0-2 from the line. Only went 4 of 5 from the line in the loss against Cincinnati. Those 5 free throw attempts, the fewest in a game for Baylor since 2021.
You know, Nunn shoots. Oh, boy.
O'Meara hits the deck hard.
He went down hard, but boy, did you see the way he went and crashed and got that ball off the glass for his 3rd rebound now, passing Bill Russell into 13th place in NC2A history with rebounds. I hope that young man's okay. You know, I always wondered, they had senior night, right? They had a lot of their seniors on the floor. They began meeting their families. I wonder if that has thrown them off, kind of something different from how they normally start the game. Sure, a ton of emotions. I remember what senior night was for me. It's not their last home game, but anytime you get your family out here, it can kind of throw you off. With the great Bill Russell. What has he got, 11 championship rings?
It's one of the greatest of all time. And O'Meara didn't even know he was that close to passing Bill Russell when you talked to him before the game. But this is the best part of it, that O'Meara is up. Even though he misses the free throw, he's healthy. He will be vital. Probably the most important player to Baylor making a run to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
They have no depth behind him.
No, he's fantastic. Like I said, 84 double-doubles for his career, coming off a double-double in their last basketball game. When I was speaking to him, he was stretching right in front of the scorer's table. I just asked him, what does it mean to pass Bill Russell? He said, what? He didn't even know. And then he said, well, that's a great thing. God is good.
Locked in. Keller. Baylor has really tightened the screws with a half-court defense. Late shot clock yet again. And one. Arturo Dean delivers.
Well, the littlest guy on the floor is the dude that is not settling on the outside shot. You mentioned it. Short shot clock. He could have tried to hoist something up, but he uses his speed to take it inside against the defense. Finds a way to hang in the air, absorb that contact with the concentration, finish a chance for the old 3-point play.
I really challenge anybody to find a performance this season with more energy, nonstop, than Dean showed against Iowa State. That was incredible.
Yeah, it was incredible. You flashed some of those things that were going on in the around the Big 12, and Richie Saunders. I got to go back to him because you didn't hit him earlier. 23.5 points per game over his last 3. This kid has absolutely been on fire. Anybody that's got to face BYU better bring their A game because the Cougars are balling.
Congratulations to Arturo Dean, now 1,000 points in his career. 7th player on this Oklahoma State roster with 1,000. That speaks to how rosters are constructed this day and age in college basketball. O'Meara with 3 pokes on him, and Thompson got a piece of him.
Yeah, O'Meara, you know, he takes his time. He's so big. He's got live legs down around the basket. He doesn't realize, he realizes that, hey, I don't got to rush. I'm just going to do a little head fake, just a little chin fake. 2 guys jumped up in the air. Now he's got a chance to go to the free throw line. This is looking for his first point still. This might be the way that he gets him going. Chance to calm down, you know, get your emotions back under control, a little adrenaline, harness that, knock down a little free throw.
That's the first points, and a little sign of appreciation from the home fans after an 0-of-4 start from the free throw line for the Bears. O'Meara got them both. He's now got 2 points.
Yeah, for a big guy. He shoots the ball pretty good from the free throw line as well. I like this kid. He's a 75% shooter. Then he grabs another board.
Thompson misses the mid-range. O'Meara brings it down.
Now there's just enough time in his half to let Baylor get on a little roll and get some momentum. He traveled.
Yeah, and the walk is going to be called on O'Meara. So that is turnover number 6 on Baylor.
Well, that's exactly what Oklahoma State does. They force 14.6 turnovers per game, which is number 2 in the Big 12. And that's just because they stay in front of the guys that they're defending. Force the team to play good enough defense long enough, somebody's going to make a mistake.
Oklahoma State has not trailed which was also the case in the win against Iowa State. And Sumnick has become a difference maker for Oklahoma State.
Old-fashioned basketball. You smash them in the pick, you roll hard down the middle of the lane, you let your guard throw it up there for you, and you finish it all in one motion above the rim.
So Baylor got O'Meara on the board, tried to throw it down. Can they get Edgecombe going? This is the three by Roach. They got one tonight, and this is that. Tough look for Wright, going high off the glass. One at the whistle, doesn't get it, but gets two.
Yeah, and Edgecombe again. How many offensive rebounds has Edgecombe got in there and snatched wins, led to second chance opportunities for his team? He's got 5 boards.
Wide open for Thompson. The three, no. Wow, Keller was trying to scoop it and throw it down. And it's going to be a foul on the floor.
Well, fans don't like it, but I think that's the right call. Nobody put a body on Keller, and he went hard to the rack.
I mean, you can feel the intensity that Oklahoma State plays with, can you not?
Yeah, I mean, they play hard, they play fast. And we talked to Coach Lutz, and I was wondering, I'm like, dang, is this guy wearing his players out with this long shoot around? I was hungry. I missed my breakfast. I was ready to go to lunch. He kept them from 11:30 to about 1:15.
And then Homer Drew stole your Snickers bar before the start of the game.
God, the Hall of Famers took my Snickers. Coach Drew saw my Snickers sitting out there. I should have had it hidden in my bag. He took one look at my waistline and said, Williams, give me that Snickers.
Awesome to see Scott Drew here with his pops and attendance as well. That was a jump ball possession arrow to Baylor. 22-14 lead for Oklahoma State over the Baylor Bears. Cowboys playing for a spot in the NIT. Baylor trying to keep those NCAA hopes intact. Starting to slip away. The only win in the last 5 games for Baylor, an overtime win against West Virginia.
Well, good teams will execute their baseline out of bounds plays when they're dialed in and they're locked in and get high percentage shots. Let's see if Baylor can get something here for a high percentage. Oh, we got Thompson just guarding, fouling the guy. That's going to be free throws. He's fouling the ball out of bounds like that. You don't want to keep putting them on the free throw line. That's something Oklahoma State does better than anybody in the Big 12 is get to that foul line, and now all of a sudden you're going to put a team that's struggling to score. They ain't scored but 14 points in 15 minutes.
And just like O'Meara, you're putting a guy on the line that needs to see something go through the cylinder in VJ Edgecombe.
Excellent point. Yeah, it's just sometimes when you're off, you're off. And was Edgecombe part of that group that was honored before the game? Because I know he's just a freshman.
Well, this will be his one-and-done season.
He ain't coming back. You say he's going to be the number 5 pick in the draft. They should have gave him a jersey and a frame too, because he gone.
Well, Scott Drew has done a tremendous job developing NBA talent as Edgecombe is now on the board. 13 picks in the last 12 drafts. Thompson lost it. Sumnick got it back, and he is fouled.
Would you look at the speed in which Oklahoma State raced that ball up this left sideline right in front of our scorers table here after a made free throw? It got the defense out of balance and out of kilter and is able to get the foul call.
Last season, in his one season at Western Kentucky, Steve Lutz and the Hilltoppers led college basketball in pace of play. This is what they want to be. It's the DNA of his style. Sumnick, no good. And they're trying to debate if it was a 1-on-1.
It should have been a 1-on-1. That's just a 16 foul on the Bears. I don't know why the officials blew the whistle and stopped play there.
Was it called on a shot?
It's Oklahoma State that has the 10 team fouls, and I think the officials.
But it was a shooting foul. I think that's what they are discussing right now.
Yep. Okay. So Sidnick was in his shooting motion. So 2 shots. Okay. Thought the officials had blown one there.
Something. So everybody moving around, and he put up 2. Like, I get 2 of these, right?
Yeah. The 46% said I need to. It'll take one away from me. Missed that first one. Let's see if that first one was a rangefinder. He can knock this one down.
He ain't number 46. He's Mr. 50.
There you go.
He's hitting half of those free throws. And we got a timeout for Oklahoma State. Well, a substitution now.
Well, this is why Coach Lutz can play so fast with his bunch, because he'll play 9, 10, 11 deep and keep his players fresh. Not many guys play more 25, 28 minutes. He just keeps a good rotation. One of the reasons why, like I say, their bench is one of the most productive in the Big 12.
Yeah, Andrea Vukovic now checks in. He doesn't play all that much, but with Sumnick now on the bench and Usman with 2 fouls, got to find some help somewhere. Edgecombe misses again. Here's Arturo Dean. Lightning in a bottle. Push pass. Got it back. Chi Avery. This is what he does, and quite frankly, sometimes it drives his head coach absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, because there's no need for that one right there, right? You're up 8. Why shoot one from 7 feet behind the three-point line? Get your better one than that.
Great feel by Roach. Fifth-year transfer from Duke.
You got to give those Dukies credit, boy. They know how to play. I'm a North Carolina guy. I don't like to give too much credit to the Duke Blue Devils, but Coach K, and they coach them up real well over there.
Dean, high off the glass. No. Rebound pulled down by Dubravcic.
Well, see, that's what that long 3 will do. And I was
Roach putting him on skates. Taken away. The block, no goaltend call. Thompson to Keller. Foul on Edgecombe.
What a defensive stop right at the point of attack. To meet me at the 10th floor and let me send you packing.
Baylor trying to crawl back in this one. Polk still in control, 23-17. To shoot from outside those 3-point shots?
Yeah, 100%, right? Like they've not let any middle penetration. Like I say, the very few times they've gone in there, they said, no, we're not going to give you the bucket. We're going to block your shot, or we're going to make you go earn it to the line from the free throw line, and they can't even knock those in.
Keller at the line. Shooting 2, trying to get on the board. And Jamiron Keller is sophomore from Ellison High School. Former 5A Player of the Year right here in the Lone Star State.
The good news for Scott Drew is, even after this free throw, if it's made, he's only down by 8, and he's got 4 minutes to go in this half. It is not going to take Edgecombe, Amir Long to put on a little spurt here. Even if it's a 6-2 or an 8-4, they're going to take some momentum to the locker room with them, and you'll see a different team in the second half.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Edgecombe can change this quick as a hiccup. Here's Wright into traffic, off balance. That's how you get back into it. Flex on him, young man.
Well, I love that. I mean, that's why Scott Drew is one of the best coaches in the business, and he's won himself a natty, because he put the ball in the hands of his most powerful player down there on that block. And all of the Cowboys, they sucked it down below that free throw line. You could see trying to scramble back out of that paint out to the shooter. And then he just so fast with the ball, took it right to the rim, got that contact. Did he finish that play? Yeah, he got an opportunity to finish off the 3-point play, and that's part of that spurt that you talked about, right? You have 3 points there, you get another stop and see what happens.
He took away that left hand, so it just shifted it over to the right for the finish.
Beautiful. I love when guys concentrate after that contact and can still put the ball in the hole.
Later in the shot clock, this is where Baylor has the advantage. Scoop pass. And it's going to stay with the Pokes. 5 seconds on the shot clock.
Better find Dean on the perimeter.
There he is. Turnaround, tough shot for a short dude. Does not go. Another rebound, the double-double machine. Lord shadow on me.
Dean says, who are you calling short?
I walked with him to the bus, and I'm a short guy. He's a short guy. But I complimented him. I've never seen a dude play as hard as he does start to finish in a game.
Yeah, I came in with him as well. I wonder if he's 5'11". With the way he steals the ball, I put my hand on my wallet. I ain't want him taking that. He's a thief in basketball shorts at 5'7". Steals. We mentioned that already the last basketball game against Ohio State. One of the big reasons why they got that victory is the defense that they played on the Cyclones.
2.7 steals per game. Dean, the active career leader, lobs. Sumnick cannot convert. Newman tries to save it. Here comes Wright. Pushing to Roach. Can't get the finish. And a foul on the floor. As Wright fell, and the whistle ensued. That's going to go against Bryce Thompson, number 2.
Yeah, Thompson kind of comes down after he tries to grab that ball off the backboard over the top of Wright. Now, Wright has been impressive here in this first half. He's done a little bit of everything for the Baylor Bears.
Only a freshman. It's one of the best duos for the young pups in college basketball, Wright and Edgecombe. Just got to get Edgecombe going. How can you tell these guys are freshmen when you watch them play, Wright and Edgecombe?
Well, it's really hard with a Edgecombe. This guy's going to be the number 5 pick in the draft. Yeah, he's going to make some mistakes, but I love his energy. He's not scoring the ball, but he's getting offensive rebounds. You know, Wright, same thing. Getting steals, getting transition, getting his team going. He's knocked down a couple shots. But you wonder, right? Now we're in a March. Are they used to playing so much basketball with so much physicality in the Big 12? Are we seeing a slow start because of some of that tonight?
Now a 9-2 run by Baylor. We've got a timeout. Edgecombe has been billed as the most athletic player in this NBA draft class.
That was my first look at him, and it didn't take me 20 minutes to figure that part out. And this kid's got live legs, he's got bunnies, he gets off the floor real easily. I think he's got to continue to work on that jump shot like any young kid will have to do. LeBron James didn't have a jump shot when I played with him when he was 19 in Cleveland. So you get into that lab, you start getting a lot of repetitions, maybe tweaking a few things on your shooting mechanics. That will come.
Explosiveness, A+. How about this comparison?
Okay.
Scott Drew says his first 3 steps are Russell Westbrook-esque.
Well, that's a good comparison to be compared to former NBA MVP. Guy was a Mr. Triple-Double guy. I mean, this is what he could be. The way he gets off the floor and rebounds, what he's got sitting on 7 rebounds. It's still 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go here in this first half. And I just like his motor. Right, like you can teach him a lot of things, but you can't teach a guy to rev hot and hard like that. Play with a dude with a lot of talent, Derek Coleman, who was the number 1 pick in the draft, but he did not have Edgecombe's motor.
Here's Dean guarded by Wright.
Sorry, DC, love you, brother.
This will be a win for Baylor if they can find a way to tie this game going into the break, knowing they have shot awful from the field, and Edgecombe has a single point. Keller missed everything. The longer those possessions go, that's when Oklahoma State has gotten in trouble tonight, and Dean is called for the foul.
Yeah, 2 shots right there, and you can see, right, different ball club. When the Cowboys got to play against a set defense, they settle for a long shot, hits nothing but, you know, the backboard. When they're out in transition and get an opportunity to run, they attack in the paint. So they have lost the momentum of this game because they keep putting Baylor on that free throw line where they have a chance to, you know, get back and set their defense before the Cowboys can attack.
Baylor just 5 of 11 from the line. Wright has the most attempts for the Bears. He's 2 of 4. Double bonus, so 2 shots here for Wright.
I mean, we're in a 1-possession game.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if they're even shooting 30% from the field.
They are not.
And if you're Scott Drew, you're thinking to yourself, boy, are we lucky right now? Because we're stinking this place up, throwing the ball all over the floor. You can't make a shot, can't hit a 3. and it is a one-point basketball game. It's like a high school game. 24-23, kidding me?
Oklahoma State has to go. Dean for three. Too much. And Omier corrals a chance for Baylor to take the lead. And Baylor leads for the first time.
Well, that was impressive. They got that ball after it bounced twice on the floor, then raced it to the other end. Took their time with it. Went inside, went back outside, went back inside, and got the high percentage shot.
Omier gave him the lead, then gets the steal. Right on Dean, can't get the roll. Now the Pokes will run. And they slow it down to set up in the half court. And a foul on Baylor. How about VJ Edgecombe with a setup?
You love that right there, right? Because he could have came in there and either tried to jam it or float something over the defender, but does a nice job. He's got great court vision, hits his big man underneath the basket where he can just stuff it through the hoop.
But that's the definition of a great player. When your shot is not falling, how can you help your team win?
Dude's got 1 point.
Yeah.
And he's affecting this game in the first half other ways. I mentioned the number of offensive rebounds that he's got, the solid defense that he's playing at the other end. And then again, right there, could have settled for the three, could have settled for the floater, but took the ball to the inside and got his buddy a bucket.
Newman could have tied it.
Yeah, Oklahoma State, wow, missing the freezy opportunities from the free throw line.
In rhythm, none. Omier keeps it alive. Another second chance opportunity. Roach draws all the Pokes defenders. One-on-one. Roach wants a screen from Omier. He had Omier, didn't see it, but is fouled.
He did have Omier on that pick and that roll. Great observation. It would have been dicey whether or not he could have squeezed it in there. So he probably did the right thing, and he took it to the basket. How many times has this kid got an opportunity to drive down that lane line? And between he and Wright, he gets knocked to the floor, and an opportunity to go to that foul line. So, yeah, has OSU faltered here in this last 6 minutes of this half? They could have taken the lead to the locker room. They could have taken the momentum to the locker room, but they still got to feel good about themselves. They haven't won on the road since February 21st, 2024, and they're right in here with the great Baylor Bears.
And Baylor flirting with 50% from the charity stripe all night. It's now 7 of 14 as Roach misses his first attempt of the night. But gets the split. 29 seconds left. Oklahoma State can take the final shot if they like.
Yeah, and look at this full court pressure by Baylor. They want them to play a little faster. Maybe they say, hey, we might get one more turnover before the end of the half.
How big is this possession? Oklahoma State 13-1 when leading at the half, 1-13 when trailing at the half. Sumnick with 7. Omier in the air, the roll is no good. Baylor basketball.
Oh, boy, I tell you, the Big 12, they let him play. A lot of body contact. Sumnick's even saying, hey, you kidding me? Either he blocked my shot or I got fouled, but one or another, it should be our ball. Referees aren't buying what he's selling. They're giving this thing to the Bears. 3 seconds to operate.
What do you dial up here with 3 left?
I think you just get it to one of your speedy players and let them try to launch something. Don't try to overthink it. Don't want to risk not getting a shot here. Go for a half-court heave or just something just beyond half-court.
Celestine to inbound. The lefty heave. Omier, great hands. Right for 3. Wide left. But how about the Baylor Bears? Their worst shooting half
that Baylor had in that first half. So just chewing glass, doing a great job. Keep you around every time in a basketball game.
Now, can Oklahoma State keep Abu Usman on the court. He had 2 first-half fouls, so we hardly saw him on the court, just 4 minutes, as Bryce Thompson opens the scoring here for Oklahoma State. Now we're tied.
I love Bryce Thompson, the fact that he went back inside for a bucket. I mentioned the struggles, just 3 of 16 to finish that half over the last 13 minutes of that half, and they go right inside for a bucket and a high percentage shot.
Edgecombe looking for his first field goal. No, and it's still 0 for to start, now 0 of 4.
That long ball needs a lot of work. There's not very little air underneath it. Far be it for me to tell these NBA scouts who to draft, and he's got certainly a lot of potential, but he's going to have to put a lot of time into something before his first NBA game on working on that stroke.
Something to also keep in mind is Steve Lutz says historically his programs have an edge in games like this. They play so many guys, they're so well conditioned. They usually are the more fresh team this point of the year, as Jennings loses it but is fouled on the spin. So you have a well-conditioned, deep team in Oklahoma State playing a Baylor team that's really about 7 healthy guys deep.
Yeah, and that one right there on that left block, Omier and Usman were really battling. They got so tangled up. Omier stopped, looked at the official like, what are you doing? And as Jennings was able to drive that one back to the basket. So 2 offensive possessions, and you already see the message at halftime to the Oklahoma State Cowboys team was to attack inside.
This is a big moment. What's on the line? Cupcakes. If Robert Jennings misses his free throw, student section gets free cupcakes.
Two consecutive misses?
Yes, in the second half of the visiting team. Here we go. Cupcakes!
Well, listen, Homer Drew stole my Snickers bar, so they better send a couple of those cupcakes this way.
I mean, there are traditions in college basketball, and then there's that. My favorite thus far. Edgecombe, who's freshman running mate, Robert Wright, who carried the Bears offensively in the first half. Edgecombe flies in with a great effort. But here's Keller. Polk's got to run. This is their DNA. No finish there, as it's Jeremy Roach hanging defensively.
Boy, I tell you, the Big 12, they had a lot of contact around the basket. They don't call it.
Roach for 3. Baylor takes the lead back.
Just their 3rd made 3 of the game, and a big one right there. Roach off of that left wing. He just gets the defender to go underneath that Omier screen, and that's just too much room for Roach to knock it down.
The matchup we were looking for that never developed in the first half. Usman and Omier inside. That's going to be a foul against Langston Love, number 3 for him. So Edgecombe and Love, both with 3 fouls.
I love this one. You guys are so nice. Let's just show it twice, because the defender gets lost behind the big body of Omier, and then Roach has plenty of opportunity there now to get the seams right on the base, on the basketball, and knock it down. Look at this side. Mama got a cupcake, huh?
And she could not be more proud of her child. They brought a whiteboard to the basketball game.
All that tuition money for a whiteboard.
They're supposed to be using that for math. Put the cupcake sign down, says Robert Jennings.
Yeah, Jennings now, that's why he has attacked inside. So you know Coach Lutz and company on that bench brain trust over there told his guys the reason why we let him back in this game is because we put him on the free throw line so we couldn't run in transition, and we didn't go inside and attack. Look at that.
Usman cleaning up with the second chance points.
Well, Usman coming off of that double-double against Ohio State. You know, he was on that pine for a long time. Coach Lutz never even brought him back at any point to finish up after he picked up those 2 fouls. So he's itching to get back into the scoring column, and the best way to do that for a big man is to chew glass offensively.
And there's a rejection, but a late whistle, and that's number 3, and this is where Usman has to control himself. He's had an issue with technical fouls lately on calls that he disagrees with.
Yeah, got to keep your canary on the porch, and in fact, that's not even a play he probably shouldn't even go to try to block. Knowing you got 2 fouls early in the second half, why risk picking up a 3rd one? Even if you get it clean, sometimes a big guy on a smaller player, you can just get that lower body contact and you get whistled for the foul. So 2.5 minutes into the second half, he picks up his 3rd.
Okay, I've just got an observation and an idea. Next Missed free throw, mandatory granny shots from the line.
Yeah, right. Both teams really struggling, right? So
yeah,
Baylor's got an excuse because they had all that pregame ceremony stuff, and it obviously has thrown. It's just obviously thrown this team off.
Jennings throws it right to Celesti.
I don't have an excuse for that. Catch the ball right underneath the rim and can't finish.
You're making an excuse for a team shooting 47% from the free throw line. Beautiful touch. Chad Omier with a second make from the field. He's got 6 points.
Omier realizing that Usman's got those 3 personal fouls, went and posted him up against the baseline, and Usman could do nothing about it to move him out of the way. His teammates finally find him underneath their left shoulder turn, right hand of the hook. Easy bucket. Is that his first field goal? Feels like it is.
For Norchad?
Yeah.
Second. Thompson for 3. In and out for Bryce Thompson.
That's one thing he can't do is gobble glass, and look at Baylor, quick to the other end.
Looking like Oklahoma State. Here's Wright for 3. Nearly had it. And it's now 3-20 from outside. Dean, the leading scorer in the first half for Oklahoma State. Offensive.
What a wonderful play on the baseline to get in front of Dean, because he is just a blur in a white jersey coming in attack mode right here. Sliding over, anticipating that contact. Was that none? None sliding those biscuits once again, those little pink shoes down there, and picks up that charge. I love when dudes will give up their body for their teammates to get a victory. You've lost 3 in a row. You're at home. You got to protect your home court. You do not want to send your seniors off on senior night with a loss. Got to do everything you can, put those guys in the win column.
Omier to the bench. That means it's more run for Dubravcic. He has been an important piece with the loss of Ojanwa. And that is a foul near mid-court. We talked about the loss of Josh Ojanwa, and really the slide for Baylor. It correlates with him going down. They've lost 4 of 5 without him. Jeremy Roach picks up the foul.
You cannot make a cross-court pass on this Oklahoma State team. And that should have been the first thing they talked about in the film session on Thursday, preparing for this basketball game. These guys are just too good, too quick, too long. They get into that passing lane and get the ripaways. Dedication to defense. That's what I love to watch. Yeah, it's not a pretty basketball game. We're not going to see a high-scoring game.
Threw it right to Jeremy Roach. And Roach with the wild finish.
Well, Roach said, well, if they can get in the passing lane and get a steal, so can we. I love that right there.
Crowd's a factor. Chichi Avery looking for the second attempt. No. The Baylor half-court defense has been suffocating. Nunn the other way, and the finish, Jaden Nunn, the pride of Flint, Michigan.
I was wondering if Coach Lutz might take a timeout. This place is getting really loud. This team's coming unglued.
And the elevation by Nunn to affect that shot. Roach for 3. They're on a sugar high here in Waco.
This place is going bananas. Roach and Nunn and Omier are doing their darn thing in his first 5 minutes in his half. Coach Lutz needs a timeout. He takes a timeout.
A 9-zip run by Baylor. Oklahoma State figuring out what Foster Pavilion is all about. There ain't no cupcakes in this, so that means they are on the bubble at this point. Has them as a 10 seed coming into this game. The bubble watch for ESPN has Baylor as a 72% chance of reaching the tournament, but even the guys at ESPN say that their metrics favor Baylor a lot more than the other metrics out there. So there's still some questions when it comes to that tournament resume.
Yeah, but you don't want to slide, right? You don't want to lose this one at home. You don't want to be in that situation where you got to go win your conference championship to guarantee yourself an opportunity to go to the big dance.
Who gets a bucket for the Pokes? They need one desperately. Looking for Usman, and this is how you make a name for yourself. Marino Dubravcic playing excellent defense at his opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, that was just like 14 feet of fun down on that baseline. He came in and poked that one away from Usman. I couldn't believe the length, the wingspan on that young man to get to that ball.
And you can sense the frustration coming from Oklahoma State as Steve Lutz calls the timeout. Marino living large.
Oklahoma State Athletics is committed to remaining highly competitive.
A second half run for the Baylor Bears. It's a 21-5 run going back to the end of the first half. Norchad Omier is the man that gave Baylor the first lead of the game, and they have not let off the gas since that point.
Yeah, I love that one by Omier. Post deep down the basket, then a high percentage shot. They're attacking more inside. They're mixing that up with the transition triple, knocking down 2 threes here in this second half after only knocking down 2 in the entire first half.
Let's put some shine, though, on the product of Croatia, Marino Dubravicic. There's a lot of nothing on the box score, but when you go back and watch the film of this game, what will it show for him?
Well, I love this by MD, right? 2.5 minutes in the first half, he got 1 point. They bring him out here for a minute and a half. In the second half, he gets a poke away. And his teammates and him absolutely loved him the entire time on that bench. He's got a role to play. Be a big body down there on Usman. Don't let him catch it deep.
Know your role and dominate in that role. And Marino is certainly doing that.
I love guys. Every team needs a dude like Marino.
It's the 12th game he's played all season long.
And you wouldn't know it. He doesn't hang his head. He goes out there and competes the best of his ability. And Coach Scott Drew recognizes that, and that's why the dude gets minutes.
And you can see the reaction that he got from the bench a moment ago going to that timeout.
And you know he's the same darn way in practice, in a film session, in the locker room, and on buses, on trains, on planes. So you just got to have that guy like that, even when you're in a losing streak, that keeps the spirits high amongst the team.
I was going to say, when was the last time you traveled via train?
My mouth starts moving. I don't know what's going to fly out of it sometimes.
I'm with you right there.
I do like a good train trip, though. I'm thinking about doing one in Europe this year.
Nice.
Summer break. Yeah, after the madness is done, I think I'm going to head over there. I've never been to Paris. I'm going to go check that out.
Well, Baylor looks, with this performance, like they will be right in the middle of that madness. This guy has lost his mind in the second half. Jeremy Roach.
But that's 3 3-pointers for number 3 here in the second half alone.
Offensive foul.
Oh, Cowboys are starting to come unglued.
And that's 4 on Usman, and this is such a great example of the coach-player relationship. Steve Lutz now is just trying to get his big under control, help him handle these emotional situations. Something tells me Lutz is going to do the talking that Usman wishes he could do, and here it is right now. Look at the stare of death right now from Lutz walking with the official. He's about to get teed up, but backs off at the right time.
Yeah, better to go talk to your head coach and talk to the official, get teed up or possibly even thrown out of this basketball game. There's a lot of time left. Sure, it's a 12-point deficit now that they're facing, but the 13 minutes, you've got a long way to go.
Steve Lutz loves these guys. He hasn't always figured them out, but loves them. Marino going to the line.
Look at the bench. Look at the bench celebration over there for the big fella. Catches it. They spoon feed the young man down there on that right block, and he goes up with a lot of power and opportunity to try to get the three-point play. It just slides off that left side of the rim. But you don't love this one right here, right? He works himself right to the basket when he's been taught. They come over with 2 guys, crack him upside his shoulders, and he still is able to fight that one up off glass.
Cannot convert there. Marino Dubravicic has 9 total points this season. He's played 7 minutes the previous 2 games, starting to get some run with Ojanwuna unfortunately out for the season, needing depth behind Norchad Omier. And can't convert there. His place was ready to explode if he would have hit one of those. The pass quickly ahead to Thompson, no good. Here's Roach.
Yeah, and Dubravicic was challenged that shot, changed the shot.
And that will be out of bounds, Oklahoma State basketball.
Maybe a bit of a heat check there for Roach, having had already made a couple triples here in this second half. Yeah, when you're up by 12, you don't, Coach Scott Drew and the guys hit a couple threes, you probably don't mind him shooting that one. But with the opportunity to work a little game clock, maybe get a little higher percentage shot, that might be that one that he wants to put in his pocket and save for a later point in time during the game.
Just go back to that first half when Baylor was awful from the field. That was the moment of opportunity for Oklahoma State to stretch and extend that lead, and simply could not do it. Baylor hung around long enough to not get hot, but just simply will its way to the lead.
Yeah, Edgecombe's back in there. He's got the 1 point. I want to see if he's been that one player that can try to, ooh, they went inside there. Just something.
Yep.
Yeah, for a little left shoulder turn, right hand jump hook. I want to see if he's the one now that can try to salt this game away for Baylor and take this lead from 10 up to about 15 to 20 points.
Sumnick now has 6 points in back-to-back games, averaging 3 points per game this season. 10-point lead for Baylor. Only led in the first half and the final couple of minutes. Non-step back. No. Chi Avery with the rebound.
Good defensive stop there by the Cowboys. Did a really nice job choking off the interior. Made Baylor play outside the arc.
And a foul call, as it was close to an Oklahoma State turnover.
I think they got Nunn down there slapping at that basketball. That's going to be his second personal foul.
So talk to me about Baylor and their ability to keep Oklahoma State from running.
Well, they did a good job in the final, I'd say 7 to 8 minutes of that first half, getting to the free throw line. And that really slowed down the Cowboys' ability to get out and run in transition. And they had to start playing more half-court offense. And then Baylor did a good job in the half-court offense, challenging shots.
And there is Bryce Thompson, such a strong start to this game. And he's now in double digits, leading Oklahoma State with 10.
Yeah, Bryce Thompson, he's been that one bright spot offensively for Coach Lutz. His ability kind of to create his own shot off the bounce.
Only 8 turnovers for Baylor. It's a low number against Oklahoma State, team that thrives on turning you over. Nunn, corner three, yes sir! Jaden Nunn, get one.
I love that by Roach. He came down here, maybe I've cooled off a little bit. He didn't settle for that left corner three-point shot. Drive along the baseline, stuck the defender, and Nunn knocks down the triple.
Long two for Chi Avery on the other end.
Well, Chi Avery, he's that one guy that's got to get going. He had just 4 points here, and only 2 in the first half. So if you're going to get 31 points off your bench, Chi Avery's that main dude off the pine that's got to put the ball in the basket.
Edgecombe in the corner, number 7, projected number 4 overall pick in the draft. He's got a single point. Omier, 2 points away from another double-double.
Omeir's just a man amongst boys out there, I think, when he's down low, flexing on the offensive glass. He moves people out of the way just by having just big, broad shoulders and strong legs.
Careless throwaway by Oklahoma State. Absolutely cannot have it.
No,
there's been multiple instances of that, Scott.
Yeah, actually, sometimes they've thrown the ball right to the other team. 14 turnovers now.
A 31-12 run for Baylor since the 5:01 mark in the first half.
Does a little bit of everything. Still's only got 1 point tonight and 1 assist, but you wouldn't know it by the way he's out there giving all his energy.
9 rebounds for VJ Edgecombe, even though the shot is not falling. one of the top rebounding guards in the Big 12. Third leader on this Baylor team.
Yeah, one of the top freshmen in the Big 12 as well. He mentioned 18 points per game over his last 8 basketball games.
Here's none again. Rebound. No surprise by the leader of the Big 12, Omer. That's going to be a travel call. So Baylor turnover, but not a live ball turnover, which is what Oklahoma State needs to get back in this thing.
Yeah, they're just their half-court offensive sets, you know, in the first year under Coach Lutz just aren't where he would probably want them to be in March, but they're getting better, right? 4-4 in the month of February, coming off a big win over Ohio State at home.
Here's Brandon Newman, who played for Lutz at Western Kentucky last season and at Purdue, and Lutz was an assistant. And Oklahoma State is able to draw the whistle.
You know, I've been real impressed with this Sumnick. You know, this kid, even in the first half, he likes to put his head down and take that ball to the basket. Now, it's a struggle from the free throw line. No, I apologize. I thought it was Sumnick that had gotten fouled on that drive to the basket.
But it's still been a really good game for Patrick Sumnick.
It sure has. Thank you for bailing me out there. But you know, we talked about the 31 points off the bench that Oklahoma State normally gets. They haven't gotten that tonight, just 10 points off the bench. But you know, he comes in here with 2 more subs to try to wear out this Baylor bunch. Yeah, they're down by 10. A lot of time left in this, and they're hoping at the end of this thing they'll be the fresher team, and they can maybe keep this thing within about 3 or 4 possessions, and then try to make a run, a push to try to steal this game on the road.
Not getting a lot from the bench and not getting a lot from the free throw line. That's only the 7th made free throw on 14 attempts for Oklahoma State tonight. Coming into this game, they're getting 24% of their points from the free throw line. That's number 6 in D1 basketball. High pass, Celestine stepped out.
Unforced error. Edgecombe trying to make those long passes. That's not how you want to beat this trap against Oklahoma State. Those 40-foot passes, 50-foot passes, cross-court passes, you know, you got to put so much air on them because they can cover so much distance so quickly. That time it just took him right out of bounds.
Oklahoma State desperately needs a bucket in the half court. Brantley delivers.
Inside that painted area, nice job. Pings the ball from side to side, catching that defense off balance.
Led LaSalle in scoring each of the past 2 seasons, just averaging 6 points per game in season number 1 with Oklahoma State. He's had to learn to adjust this Steve Lutz system. Edgecombe the kick, Celestine, and it's a rebound by Bryce Thompson.
Yeah, 5-0 run here and a chance to cut it to an even deeper deficit.
Newman, a little too much. And it's going to be Baylor basketball.
Yeah, OSU, I understand why you just don't continue what is successful. You're going inside for buckets. Continue to go inside for buckets. You are doing what you want, what they want you to do by shooting the outside shot. They only had 2 3-pointers in that first half. Got to drive it to the rack.
And again, their main guy inside, Usman, coming off one of the best performances of his career. 4 fouls, has hardly played in this game. That's the leading scorer. Had 25 points on a 7 of 11 shooting night in the win against the Cyclones. Edgecombe, and the whistle blew. Will it go to the line? 2 shots coming up for VJ Edgecombe, so still no field goal makes. He's going to look for his 2nd and 3rd points of the night, though, from the charity stripe.
This kid's impressive. I see what they like about him at the next level. He takes that ball from the top of the key and lickety-split. He's an easy jumper. He is up over that rim trying to make a play.
To what extent does the NBA want to see how a guy handles themselves when they're not scoring?
By doing all these little things, by playing the defense, by getting the rebounds, you know, by pumping your teammates up. There's nights like that where it doesn't matter where you shoot it from, inside, outside, at the free throw line, it just ain't gonna fall. Now you want to see a player's attitude. How do you handle not being successful offensively when you've been doing it at such a high level for the whole month of February? What can you do to help your team get a victory?
Talking to John Morris, voice of the Bears, before the start of the game, and he said that's one of the most impressive things about Edgecombe. A genuinely good young man that always has a great attitude, even when things aren't going his way. And let's be honest, it's not often when things are not going his way. 8-point game. Oklahoma State under 39% from the field. Usman still on the bench with 4 fouls. No spacing here from Oklahoma State.
Oh, Jennings got hurt. He's limping bad.
As Chi Avery keeps chipping away for the Pokes.
Hey, Chi Avery, couple buckets here in this second half. Now, this little three-quarter trap, maybe he's throwing the offensive attack by Baylor out of bounds.
Omier nearly got it back. Celestine stepped out of bounds. But you're absolutely right. We got a 6-point game, and now if Oklahoma State can start getting some of those deflections, takeaways, completely different story.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Baylor is prepared for this little, I want to call it a three-quarter, maybe a half-court, 1-2-2 attack, and it has discombobulated the Bears' attack. So what once was a 12-point advantage, they've seen cut in half.
Jennings looking for someone to hand off to. Finds Brantley, still plenty of time. Brantley got Omier up in the air, but traveled. What'd you think of that call? I see the look on your face.
I didn't see it travel. These officials have been really good all night long. I don't want to say that it wasn't a travel. It was a good use of the pump fake, and we got ourselves a ball game here. 6-point game, 7 minutes play.
Needs this far more. Joe Lunardi has them among the last 4 buys, meaning they are on the bubble coming into this game. Can VJ Edgecombe deliver to close this one out? Only 2 points for the electric freshman, projected top 5 pick. Right, another freshman star. Celestine thought about it. Late shot clock, right with the finish. The freshman has carried the load for Baylor, 14 points.
Yeah, he showed some moxie on that play, up against a short shot clock, didn't settle for an outside shot, uses his wheels and attacked the rack.
Usually the setup man. Baylor freshman record for assists in the season. Tonight, with Omier and Edgecombe not hitting their shots, Wright has said, I got you. He's been the finisher. 5 on the clock for Brantley. Edgecombe on him. And Brantley draws the contact. What can you say, though, about Robert Wright?
Well, I like this one right here. He gets the ball back with about 5 seconds to play. A little tricky inside-out dribble with the offhand, and then the power and strength to absorb a little contact at the rim and still finish that off glass. For all you young players out there, when you know you're going to get some contact, use that glass to soften your shot, and gives you an extra tick of a second to finish the play.
Celestine picked up the foul, his second. Oklahoma State, this has been problematic going on the road. This is their first trip to Foster Pavilion. But all the Big 12 trips have been an issue, not just for Steve Lutz, but dating back to Mike Boynton's tenure in Stillwater. 10 straight Big 12 road losses. February 21 of last year, the last win on the road in Big 12 play, a dub at Cincinnati. That's too long, Scott.
Yeah, too long. But how about this Foster Pavilion? This is my first trip here to Waco and get a chance to this. This place gets loud. That's got to be something that's difficult for Oklahoma State. They had a crowd pretty quiet most of that first half until about the last 5 minutes. Now they've really been into this one. It really rattled the Cowboys here to start this second half.
It's fascinating the way this place is built. It's very vertical, very steep.
Yeah.
So it feels like the seats that are even up above are right on top of the court.
Yeah, and all that sound, all that cheering directed right to center court, and it rattled the Cowboys. It took them a while, maybe 12 minutes now, and this little half-court trap has helped as well, but they're right back in this thing.
They changed the foul, by the way, to VJ Edgecombe. That's now number 4 for the freshman.
Wow, something to watch. 4 on the freshman. He's got to spend a little time on the pine.
Still have O'Meara, no look pass, corner 3. Celestine rips it.
What a big shot by Celestine out of that left corner. How about the inside action there by the big fella O'Meara? Great job passing out of the double team.
Bryce Thompson and 1. Pokes trying to stay alive, hang around.
Impressive punch. You know, I talked about the 90-minute. I mean, it looked like they got taped for their shoot-around. They played so hard. But we'll go back to this one again. 3 Cowboys come over to O'Meara, determined not to let him burn him inside. Well, what happens? He's so good at passing out of the post, they get burned from behind the arc.
Thompson now with 13 points. 3-point play for him. 3 previous games leading into this, 19 points per game. And he's taken a lot of shots. He's feeling comfortable as the go-to threat for the Pokes offense. Everybody is now getting into the mix. Jaden Nunn has had a heck of a night. 11 points for him, 3 of 8 from outside.
Wow, back-to-back triples when Baylor could ill afford to give up back-to-back triples. Punches that lead back up to 9.
Thompson, tough shot, tough roll and make for the former Kansas Jayhawk. He's used to big environments.
Thompson has been that guy, right, over the last 8 games. He's been over 15 points. In 3 of those games, he's been over 20 points, putting the team on his back here down the stretch, trying to keep them within striking distance. They get the rip away. Oh,
nearly had his 3rd steal. Coming off his 7-steal performance against Iowa State. And he will be called with a foul.
Well, you talked about right on, you know, like you said, this guy normally is the setup dude, but tonight he is really calling his own number, and he's been that one guy that has been in attack mode consistently for the Bears.
Is that a switch that flips for a guy like that, or do you just know that, hey, the scores aren't getting theirs? It's time for me to pick it up.
Yeah, and also the job of the assistant coaches as well, right? Like one of the assistants that he works with when they break out to bigs, littles, will get in his ear, maybe during a timeout or during a free throw situation. You give him that little look like, go get yours. It's time for you to take over. You lead, let the rest of the team follow.
Would a player like a VJ Edgecombe ever go to his guys and say, like, hey, man, this is just not my night. Like, I need you here? Or is that too much for a competitor like that?
Yeah, competitor's not going to give up that mentality of, you know, playing out from a place of fear. He's going to say that, hey, my next, you always want to think my next shot's going to go in, but what do you do to make that next shot go in, right? Do you attack the glass? Do you get to the free throw line? Well, you know, do you drive one hard to the bucket?
Right now up to 16 points. Roach, the leader for Baylor, with 17. Here is Dean, laser pass, and the tippy-toe action there by Jaden Nunn to keep it in bounds and register the steal.
Look at the big fella bringing it over half court. So he gets the steal, and even dances the ball to the front court.
I got some handles, too. Right, the hesitation, baseline. Nunn, the skip pass, Roach. Almost nailed it. Dean with the rebound. Collision between Thompson and O'Meara, and Newman is fouled by Celestine.
Wow, see, that's the execution of the transition or the fast break that we didn't get a lot out of the Cowboys in the latter part of that first half. When they can get that ball cleanly off the rim, I don't think there's a better team in college basketball that I have seen this year of making that transition from defense to offense. Great utilization of that, you know, pass that goes 50 feet right over the defender where just only your teammate can get it, and then he's at the rim with the attack.
go back and watch that win against Iowa State, they had a few of those dimes, almost the length of the court in transition. A great passing performance in that win.
And that doesn't just happen. That's something that you put time in the lab, getting used to the speed at which your teammate can run, how much air you got to put on underneath it to get it over the defender. And so I'll give Coach Lutz a lot of credit. I was wondering maybe he robbed his legs from his players this morning, but the execution, the way that they played, prepares them for moments like this in the game that they practice in the shoot-around.
And Newman cuts into the Baylor lead. 7 points, now the deficit.
This game ain't over. And I think Baylor had their chance to salt this thing away when they were up by 12, but right now Oklahoma State is right in this thing. They're in a similar position that Baylor was in earlier in the first half, and they were able to make a little run and grab the momentum. That's what Oklahoma State's trying to do right now. They got to stop fouling, though.
Yeah, Thompson fouled Edgecombe. Baylor in the bonus, so 1-1 now coming up for VJ Edgecombe. 2 of 4 from the line tonight. On the season, just below 80%. Last 11 games, he's been hot. 18 points per game, just under 50% from the field, 43% from outside. But tonight, 0 for 5 from the field, 0 for 3 beyond the arc, 2 of 4 from the line.
Yeah, and it's funny because he started slow in the first half. In their last basketball game, really turned it on, 14 points in the second half. I thought maybe he would do the same thing tonight and take over this basketball game and salt it away from his team. It's yet to be seen whether or not he's going to be able to do that with just under 5 minutes to play here in the second half. That's so 3 points for him now.
Norchad Omier, it looks like there was contact to his face, and he's asking for a review. Looks like he's holding his ear.
Yeah, it's more of his jaw. I think he got cracked in the jaw underneath on that 1-on-1 situation. And if that's on Usman, well, we know that this would be his 5th, and he'd be gone. He just hasn't been able to get off the launch pad tonight.
I mean, it's just been one of those nights. 9 minutes for Abu Usman, who picked up 2 quick fouls. Added a third. And what do you think of the contact there from that left elbow?
Trying to box out that left elbow. It looks like he's trying to put it on the shoulder of Omier, and it, with the 2 sweaty bodies down there, it slides up off the shoulder and just cracks him in the right side of his jaw. I don't think there was anything malicious about that. It's just 2 big guys down there getting physical with one another. Unfortunately for Omier, he got the worst end of it, but over the course of 30 games, 35 games, you just hope that those even out. You've given as many as you get. Let's play on.
The final discussion before we get that call. And I believe they're saying nothing there.
Yeah, this is the Big 12, baby. This is the black and blue Big 12. We've had guys go to the ground, get knocked down on their backsides harder than that, and there hasn't been a foul call.
You were telling me something pregame. You know a thing or two about committing fouls.
I did. Yeah, you're looking at the all-time leader in ACC history for personal fouls. Surprisingly enough, I didn't foul out of a lot of games. They gave me 5, and I was going to use 4.
And you were comfortable playing with 4.
Yeah.
Still produce.
Especially anytime I was playing against those guys from Durham. I love cracking Bobby Hurley and Danny Ferry and Christian Leitner with fouls. That was my specialty.
You wouldn't do that to Christian Leitner, would you?
Oh, Coach K got on me in the 89 ACC championship and started yelling at me. And Coach Smith told him to stop talking to his players. I don't want to tell you. I can't say on air what he told Coach Smith, but read my book. It's in my book.
9-point game. Cowboys need a bucket. Avery to Usman, and Usman is fouled by Norchad Omier.
See, that is exactly what the Cowboys have missed this entire basketball game, because Usman can't stay off the pine, but his length around the basket can really affect with his team offensively. Great job. He's got good hands, and he catches that ball. He doesn't bring it down. For you young bigs out there, when you get that ball in traffic, the tendency is to bring it down so you can power it up. But you got to take that thing from your chest and go straight up with it.
Usman with his first trip to the line. He's only got 4 points. Cannot connect there. His performance against Iowa State speaks to the power of a work ethic. He has not been historically a good three-point shooter and a good free throw shooter. But in that game, 3 of 5 from outside and a perfect 8 of 8 from the line. Rave reviews from his head coach, Steve Lutz.
And he needs to make this free throw right here.
And does. 8-point game.
8-point game, slapping that trap on him again here. Still 4 minutes and 20 seconds to play. A lot of time left in this game.
Baylor clears.
Especially with Oklahoma's ability to get those live ball turnovers that can lead to quick points for them. This game could turn on a dime.
Omier sets the screen for Roach. Roach, a tough shot, tough make. He's a big shot maker, 19 points for the Duke transfer.
OMG, Roach has been that dude. When they need a big bucket, he has delivered.
And he has been struggling as of late. And hearing a lot of talk about those struggles publicly. Usman draws another foul on Norchad Omier, now number 4.
Usman has been the man here down on that low block. Look at that footwork down on the low block. Look at this one here, a nice little pull-up. And things would not be looking good here in Waco, but you're right, Roach has been that guy. Nunn has been that guy to give them, you know, they got 30 points between those two guys that have helped elevate them tonight.
And it was the other freshman, Robert Wright, in the first half. He was the leader for the Bears' attack in the first half when they were absolutely frigid from the field. Huge free throw here for Abu Usman. Nails it. Back into single digits now. Norchad Omier has 4 fouls. Abu Usman has 4 fouls. Unfortunately for 33 and White, 3 of those fouls came in the first half.
Yeah, he's been that guy, kind of like Omier and Edgecombe, right? We've expecting big offensive numbers from those two players, and he's been one of those dudes that hasn't provided that big punch that he had against OSU when he had those 25 points and, you know, was it 8 of 11 from the field and 8 of 8 from the free throw line. He knocked in 3 triples.
Huge 2 makes there.
Yeah, because they want to burn a little clock here. You know, game clock is their friend. Try to take this thing down to about 10 seconds and attack.
Omier, the screen. Roach in trouble. Fights through it. Edgecombe lost it. Turnover number 12 for Baylor.
Edgecombe's looking at the official like, it would have been a turnover if you had the ball hadn't hit you. You were standing on the sideline there, but you're right. That was good defense by Oklahoma State. They kept them out of the middle, and now they get that turnover. Hey, this is a big chance to cut this thing to a 5-point game. Put some pressure on the Bears to see if they'll crack.
Thompson, the only poke in double digits. Here's Newman in and then out. And it's Oklahoma State basketball off Norchad Omier.
Omier likes calling for the officials to look at plays or telling his coach to, hey, challenge that shot. I don't know what he's doing, but he's constantly down there.
That's 3 times.
Yeah, he's circling his finger like, I want to see that again. I'd like to see those guys banging down on that glass, though. That's what the matchup we wanted to watch all night long.
Here's Thompson. He's got 15. Thompson, that's been his game, the mid-range. Usman, offensive rebound.
2 chances for Usman. Oh,
Edgecombe takes it away. He's still a factor. And 1. It took him long enough, but VJ Edgecombe has made his first bucket of the night.
He can't hide talent. You kidding me? This kid was sensational. Strip away on the pull-up jump shot. Look at that, just rips it away, and he is off to the races. Surveys the defense, little Euro step there, then the glides and finish to the hoop. That's impressive.
Gervin-esque on the finish.
Yeah, I like it. That's a good observation right there, a comparison. You know, this kid's got bunnies, right? He's got wheels. He's got a great attitude. It's a lot of guys that I played with, Allen Iverson, the name one, if they weren't having a good shooting night, they weren't going to get a lot out of them for anything
Don't
else.
do that to my guy, AI.
He's terrible. Worst teammate I ever played with. You
That's
kidding
the
me?
answer.
That's in my book, too. But Edgecombe, he's got a great attitude. He keeps playing and fighting and doing the other thing. Rebounding the ball, getting defense. We have another collision here. They're going to lay a lot of ice bags and ice baths after this basketball game.
Yep, Thompson and Roach collide. That's going to be a foul against Jeremy Roach. Back to a 10-point game, and now the question becomes, is Oklahoma State built, especially if they have to play in the half court, to come back from this deficit with 2:44 left?
Well, for them, it's all about getting stops, right? So get stops, they can score quick. And that was a good stop there. And then now all of a sudden they're trying to run again. They get into fouling. So now they get a chance. This is the team that shoots the most fouls in the Big 12. So getting a chance to score with the game clock stopped. Gotta love that.
Thompson shooting with confidence, 2 of 2 from the line, 16 points.
Yeah, number one in free throw. Excuse me, number one in free throws made.
Also the 14th best free throw rate in D1 basketball, meaning compared to the amount of field goals they attempt, they go to the line a ton. All right, how do you approach this defensively for Oklahoma State?
No fouls. You're in a good position right now. You got plenty of time on the clock to play solid defense and get a steal. Yeah, you'd love to get a steal in the backcourt, but you're not going to risk a personal foul to get one.
Oh, that was close. Now you got 5 seconds to clear. Lutz wants more pressure from Chi Avery. And here it comes, but a whistle.
Didn't want that, right? You know, she's already in the double bonus here. Unless they're saying it was a slap away and the ball just went out of bounds.
Well, if it's a foul, I thought I heard basketball courtside. Timeout is called. So let's see. And it looks out of bounds, yep. So no foul. The call was out of bounds. That was clean from our vantage point.
Yeah, okay, so still 20 seconds to operate here. Coach Scott Drew and his staff going to draw something up. One, just to get this ball in bounds, not to really go into a set play to try to score from the position on that floor. Try to eat into that game clock a little bit. Maybe go high pick and roll, or maybe try to post Omier down that right block, see if they can command that double team. He's such a good passer out of that double team. Maybe they can find a shooter for a mid-range or three-point shot.
No field goals for Oklahoma State in the last 3:07. Baylor has hit 5 of their last 6. Bigger issue for Baylor, they've lost 4 of their last 5. That has put them on Joe Lunardi's bubble, coming into today listed among the last 4 buys into the NCAA tournament. That's not a spot you necessarily want to live in, considering you're a few upsets in the conference tournaments away from that field shrinking and being left outside looking in. Close to a must-win for Baylor. Wide open for Langston Love. Past Usman. Out of bounds.
I get the turnover. That's exactly what the Cowboys needed. Great job defense and sliding their feet. They bounced the ball out of bounds, trying to hit teammate in the corner. A chance to cut into that deficit again.
Dean trying to preserve as much time as he possibly can. 8-point game. Who's going to get the bucket for Oklahoma State? Usman hands off to Dean. Omier stays with them. Here's Newman. The drive. The follow. Usman with the finish.
There we go, baby. It's 2-possession basketball game.
Yeah, we ain't done, partner.
This Cowboys team fights. Oh, they almost got another turnover.
Now crank it up to defensive intensity. Under 2 minutes left to play here in Waco.
Yeah, Coach Lutz telling his team, fall back. All we need to do is get a stop. Do not foul trying to get a steal. Play with your feet, not your hands.
Denied by Chi Avery. Baylor retains possession with 4.3 on the shot clock.
Chi Avery is so long at 6'7", got a long wingspan. He stays down to that shot has been released and he swats it away.
So now an opportunity to talk this one out. Official review looking on who this went out of bounds off of.
Last play is under review.
We saw Oklahoma State obviously stating their case for the basketball. 90 seconds left, 4.3 on the shot clock. Let's see it here. As Wright is rejected by Avery. And it looks like the basketball is still on the fingertips of Wright, although from that angle, not sure how conclusive it is.
Well, it looks to me like both players have their hands on the ball, right? When it leaves both players' hands.
So we don't have the backside angle. That's what makes this difficult. It looks though like Wright's hand could still be on the basketball, but if you can't see it from behind, is that enough evidence?
No, not really. I mean, I think the best you could do is say both players were on the ball when it went out of bounds, and a possession arrow favors Baylor, so they may keep this basketball regardless.
But this allows both teams to set up what they're going to do here with 4.3.
Yeah, and you know, listen, I love the officials going to the scores table. They want to get this right. This is a big moment in this basketball game. But I just don't like when they go over there and it takes 3, 4, 5 minutes. This game has been played too good. It has had too good a pace to have it slowed down to a crawl.
You see the students doing rock, paper, scissors behind the officials, like, make up your mind. But I'm with you. There's too many stoppages in college basketball right now. But this is appropriate. This is when you should have the stoppage. Forget about that first half nonsense.
Yeah, this is when you want to make sure that you get it right. I still, even in a situation like this, take 90 seconds. If you can tell, let's play on. Block shot out of bounds, give it back to Baylor, let them operate their baseline out of bounds play with 4.3 to go.
Well, Steve Lutz is saying, take all the time you need.
And I understand why he would do that, right? Big ball for his team. Either
play stanzas called.
Have to play.
And it will stay with Baylor. So not enough there to overturn that.
Yeah, and good job by that crew, right? Yeah, maybe it took a couple ticks longer than I would have liked, but he did the right job, the right thing rather than, and made the correct call by doing their job. It's been a good officiating crew. This has not been an easy game to officiate.
It's been a little ugly at times. And physical, of course. You're talking about the Big 12. 4.3 on the shot clock. Right to inbound. He was thinking about lobbing it to O'Meara. Taken away. Oklahoma State will run it out. Here's Bryce Thompson. Denied by Edgecombe, but a foul. And if that is on Edgecombe.
Yeah, it's not on Edgecombe. Edgecombe got the ball cleanly. It was the defender underneath with the body contact is what they're going to get whistled for.
So it's none. Not Edgecombe.
You imagine Edgecombe playing volleyball, though. I mean, look at this, right? He doesn't hang his head after the steal. He hustles back in there. Yeah, so none right there with the body bump. Edgecombe comes over and knocks it away cleanly.
2 shots here for Bryce Thompson. Five-point game. Thompson saving his best for last at Oklahoma State. Not just this being his best season, but this being the best stretch of this season.
Yeah, he's going to go for over 20 points probably before this one is said and done. The third time he's done that in the last 9 basketball games. He's an 80% free throw shooter, and he had that one dialed in. That was back rim and down. See if he can knock both of these in. So this is what I was concerned about if you're with the Baylor Bears. They never slammed the door shut when they were up by 12, and they did exactly what Oklahoma State wanted. We just want to hang along long enough to try to put that press on you at the end of the game and see if we can get just enough turnovers, and you'll make just as enough mistakes for us to steal this basketball game.
4-point game. Thompson goes to the bench. Brantley checks in. Here's the pressure from Oklahoma State. 4 players on this side of the court. Edgecombe is in trouble. Edgecombe trying to get out of it. 4 to clock across the timeline. Baylor does, making it close. Back to Edgecombe now. Roach with 8 on the shot clock. Turning the corner in traffic. Edgecombe. And we got a whistle. Foul against Oklahoma State. Edgecombe, not his night, but still fighting hard. That's against Arturo Dean, number 4.
Well, when it came down to it, sure they wanted to burn a lot of clock. They decided to go high pick and roll with O'Meara. He slipped the screen, so Roach didn't gain as big as advantage that he possibly could have, but he did just enough to get the defender to leave Edgecombe out of the corner. Well, he hasn't hit a shot all night. Why wouldn't you? But the kid doesn't settle for the outside jumper. He takes it right into the teeth of the defense fearlessly, and now he's going to go to the line.
Where Baylor is only 13 of 26 tonight, now 13 of 27.
Wow, the 80%er misses the first free
throw. And look at Norchad O'Meara. Did you see that chin up? He went straight to VJ Edgecombe. Is it body language? You got this.
Now, that's what a senior's supposed to do for the young freshman, right? Pump him up a little bit. Hey, this is the big one right here.
Projected to go number 4 in the most recent ESPN.com mock draft. And 1-2. Takes us to a 5-point game.
Oklahoma State does not need a 3. They need to go back inside and attack.
Here's Dean driving. O'Meara got a piece of it and gets the rebound. And foul against Oklahoma State, Norchad O'Meara. How about the defensive effort there?
Yeah, well, unbelievable. 13 boards to go along with 8 points. An opportunity to go to the line to get his 85th career double-double on senior night.
And with that rebound, now jumps to 13th place all time.
Look at the way he can switch off to smaller offensive players by sliding those feet, stays nice and vertical, doesn't come down across the wrist or the shoulder and commit that foul. How the heck he comes down with the rebound after challenging his shot is beyond me. Played with a dude named Dennis Rodman, had that same intensity and tenacity at getting on the glass.
Arturo Dean has fouled out. The active career leader in steals in the NCAA.
Yeah, he played well tonight. Goes over the 1,000-point plateau for his career. Pretty impressive. Anytime a guy can get 1,000 points at the D1 level, I got to tip my hat to him.
Norchad O'Meara, 8 points, 13 rebounds, 16 double-doubles coming into this game. The most for Baylor since Rico Gathers in 2015.
Well, he was just the one pumping up his little freshman teammate at the foul line after he missed one. Now the 75%er's got to knock down 2 on his own.
How about this? He's already passed Bill Russell on the all-time rebounding chart. And he passes Ralph Sampson on the all-time chart for career double-doubles, now with 85. 4th most in history. Avery trying to keep Oklahoma State in this one. Run out all day. Roach, just a gentle lay-in to put the exclamation on this.
Oh, and Edgecombe gets a steal.
VJ Edgecombe, not his night shooting the basketball, but relentless effort, his game. Winners win. Scott.
I'm impressed by this young man. And listen, I didn't see the offensive explosion that he has had going here in his final the last 8 basketball games. But look at this, just a nice job by O'Meara. He won't get credit for that board, but he slaps it out to his teammate to let him snatch it up and race it down in the air for that basket. So, you know, just some big plays down the stretch here by O'Meara. Defensively, getting on the glass as well.
Hey, and now making the free throws at the right time to put the icing on the cupcake, if you will, that was earned for the Baylor students earlier this second half.
Oh, what happened? Was there a technical placed here? Oh, look, Coach Lutz got a technical foul, and Love is going to go to the free throw line for a couple free throws.
So here is Langston Love to the line. And that technical issue to Steve Lutz and the Oklahoma State staff.
I kind of like this. Love hadn't scored a point all game long. You know, Edgecombe was at the line. He could have shot those free throws, but he says, hey, you go get you 2 from the free throw line. I'll come back and knock one in and finish with 9 and 9.
Now look, you just start thinking about what Baylor can be. They are undermanned. I know they're not getting Ojanwuna back this season, but Edgecombe, 2 different times, has missed time because of injury this season. Langston Love had the ankle surgery in the offseason. Came back and it wasn't right. They shut him down. He's only been back for a few weeks now and is playing really good basketball. This is a team, talked to Scott Drew a couple weeks ago, that he believes it can reverse the trend. Some teams slow down this time of year. The injuries mount. He feels they can get healthy and play their best at this time of year.
Yeah.
Now, it hasn't been pretty, but they're closing in on the win.
I was going to say, I think everyone forgot that was the second free throw attempt. Everyone slowed down and stopped. Edgecombe tried to go in there, sneak in there, poke it away.
And Newman is fouled.
Yeah, that's going to be on Omier. Is that 5 on Omier?
That would be 5.
Yeah, he's gone. But it's not going to be enough time left now with a 12-point disadvantage.
Yeah, this thing's done.
This one's done. But, 17 and 12, you were talking about, getting healthy. You got to get hot and healthy in March, and that was what gives you the momentum to take to the tournament and try to make a deep run to the Sweet 16 or the Final Four.
Tell you what, if this is not done, 20 seconds left, 12-point game, I'll eat an entire box score. You just ate part of a box score in the first half.
Yeah, I'm never going to say that again on air. You held me to it.
Yeah, we had it on camera. Do we have that footage, by the way?
Oh, my goodness. I hope not.
The highlight of what was an ugly first half. Scott Williams here saying that if Baylor attempted another 3-pointer, that he would eat the box score. They did.
Well, I quickly corrected myself and said a portion of the box score.
Yeah.
Because something told me they were going to fire up another 3. Yeah, they started 1 of 9 from 3-point range. Then she came out of a timeout, and I just figured, well, they got to go inside, right? And if shots aren't falling, and they cranked up another 3 and missed that.
Scott, Baylor shot 24% from the field, 53% from the line in the first half. But to their credit, they were able to just methodically get back in the game after that early Oklahoma State lead.
Yeah, they took the momentum to the locker room with them. Most importantly, you had mentioned that stat. Cowboys just 1 of 13 when trailing at the half.
So 20.3 away from Baylor securing this win.
He bounced that ball out of bounds.
Yeah, so this is not the way you want to close it out. It's going to be Oklahoma State basketball. 20 seconds left, 10-point game. Now an opportunity to talk it out for both teams. As we're going to the monitor here. And so let's see what we got. So a quick look. This could also be a timing deal as well.
Well, they want to make sure no time came off that game clock, giving Oklahoma State all the seconds and tenths of seconds that they are due.
They get .3 back on the clock.
Okay, they got a .3. And I mean, I wonder if Coach Lutz is thinking, why did I get that team? It cost itself 2 points. 8 points deficit sounds a lot better with 20 seconds to go than a 10-point deficit. But either way, the eggs, as Chick Hearn used to say, the eggs are cooling and the butter's getting hard.
Oklahoma State, this hasn't been their night, but this program certainly is starting to turn the corner on their first-year head coach, Steve Lutz. Here's Usman, and that's really the biggest factor in this game for Oklahoma State. Usman didn't have the chance to be a factor because of the foul trouble. Baylor takes advantage of it, and for the 4th time this season, Baylor wins a game when they are trailing by 10 points or more. That's the most double-digit comebacks this season in the Big 12.
Well, Baylor, after a slow start defensively,